In this installment of our multimedia podcast, we want to share with you some tips for making those parent phone calls you need to make positive ones. There comes a time for many of our students when we need to pick up the phone and speak directly with one of their parents. Do you know what it is that you're going to say? First, you want to remember why calling directly home to speak with a parent is important. Sometimes we can send an update through email or the postal service, but a phone call is a much more direct way to communicate. Circumstances arise that require parents to hear your voice and enjoy a two-way conversation with you rather than just receiving a message in their inbox. A great question to ask yourself is, would I want the teacher to call me if I were the parent? If the answer is yes, then pick up the phone and know that you are doing both the parent and the student a service with your communication. Also, as we continue to think about parents as partners in the learning process, it's important to let parents know how their child is doing academically or if there was a behavioral problem. When students encounter a united front between their parents and teachers, they're more likely to do what's necessary to improve. But maybe you're feeling a little nervous about picking up the phone, or maybe you're not sure what to say. Don't worry, think about these tips. First, begin with some positives about the student. You don't have to flatter or embellish, but do genuinely tell the parent what you appreciate about their student. Then transition into the reason why you called. Don't feel like you need to water down the truth or put the news too gently to parents. Be professional, but be forthright with the reason you're calling and tell them exactly what it is you need them to know. Be ready to provide specifics and to clarify the information you're calling about. Give the parents a chance to process and respond to your news. If the student is receiving poor grades or has acted inappropriately, parents need a chance to think about what you've said. Give them a moment to do that and then to respond. Listen carefully without interrupting and take time to process what they're saying as well. One of our fears is that the parent may become belligerent or accusatory. This is definitely a possibility, though is usually more the exception than the rule. No matter what the parent says, remember that you're on the same team and have the best interests of the student at heart. Often, just listening carefully can accomplish more than growing defensive or arguing back. What you ultimately want to end with is a solution. You didn't call just to tattle. Instead, you needed to inform the parent that there is a problem and you want to work together to form a solution. Don't finish the conversation before you both have the same understanding of what it is about the student that needs addressing or what your next steps are. It's also good to finish the conversation with another positive statement about the student and an agreement as to when you'll be next in touch with one another. Now, everything I've just said assumes that you're calling home for negative reasons. But what if you called parents to share good news about their student instead? Remember that parent phone calls are not exclusively for talking about student problems. Think about how you might call parents and let them know what positive thing their child has done at school that week. They'll be pleasantly surprised by the call, and your student will be encouraged, and you'll feel great. So next time you need to make that parent phone call, don't fret. Remember to start with positive statements, be honest, listen carefully, and make the parent feel like a member of your team.